Shannon says goodbye to Boone before he is buried. Saeed supports the grief-stricken girl, recalling how he was arrested at Heathrow Airport. Saeed is being interrogated by CIA and Australian intelligence officers. The fact is that large quantities of explosives have been stolen from a military base near Melbourne by terrorists to make matters worse in Iraq. The explosives must be recovered at any cost. Saeed has been captured even though he is not a terrorist. The CIA wants his cooperation because he knows Issam Tazir, who is a member of a terrorist group. To interest Saeed, the CIA officer said she knew where Nadia was. If Saeed wanted to find her, he would have to cooperate and fly to Sydney. In the present, Kate found Jack in the jungle. The search for John Locke has not yet been successful, but Jack was not going to give up, for he relied on John's lies to cure Boone. Because of this, Boone died. Kate convinced Jack to return to the beach where Boone's funeral was held. All the people were deeply saddened. Since Shannon was in no condition to give her farewell speech, Saeed did. Suddenly John Locke appeared and told them about the plane they had found in the jungle. Jack didn't believe a word he said and attacked Locke, demanding the truth. Charlie, Kate and Sawyer stopped Jack, who was getting sick from blood loss. The doctor was still convinced that John was hiding something. Saeed recalls praying in the mosque. Issam Tazir recognized him and called out to him on the street. They had known each other since university. Issam told him that his wife had been killed by a bomb in the market. Since they had not seen each other for many years, Issam called Saeed to his home, where he lives with 2 other neighbors. Suddenly Saeed's attention was drawn to a fire alarm system that was malfunctioning. Saeed pulled out a listening device and threw it into a glass of water. He made no secret of the fact that he was an officer in the Republican Guard. The terrorists saw this as a good opportunity. Sun and Charlie convinced Claire to take a break, but she didn't want to leave her child with someone else. Charlie, however, persuaded her to trust him. John handed Shannon Boone's backpack and sat down beside her. Locke apologized, for he meant Boone no harm. Later, Shannon came to Saeed with a request. She wanted revenge on John Locke with the help of her lover. Kate takes care of Jack, who refuses to go to bed, but at some point he feels unbearably sleepy because Kate has put sleeping pills in his juice. Meanwhile, John was washing his clothes. Saeed spoke to him, noticing the surgical stitch on his side. Saeed also wants to find out if the radio Boone allegedly found in the plane is still intact. John agrees to take Saeed there. On the way, Saeed asks Locke leading questions. Soon they reach the wrecked plane. Saeed recalls how Issam confessed to him that he had been chosen as a suicide bomber. Issam, however, was not sure he could handle it. Saeed reports to the CIA agents that Issam doesn't know where the explosives are. He was confused and could be surrendered to the authorities. But the agents were of a different opinion, believing that Saeed should convince his friend to go for it. That way Issam would lead them to the explosives. Saeed wanted to refuse to cooperate, then the agents threatened to imprison Nadia, because she is under the status of a terrorist in the country. In the present, Charlie tries to calm the baby, but he won't stop crying. Hugo tries to help, but to no avail. Meanwhile, Saeed examined the wreckage of the plane. He wondered one thing: why John had lied about Boone falling off the cliff, and why he was carrying a gun. John told him that they had found the body of a Nigerian priest in the jungle. Locke also confessed that it was he who had knocked Saeed out some time before, when he had assembled the transmitter and wanted to find the source of the signal. Saeed pointed a gun at him, but John assured him that he acted out of general interest, because it was dangerous to look for the source of the signal. When Saeed asked about the hatch, John pretended not to understand. In the past, Saeed had persuaded Issam to take the desperate step because it was his sacred duty. When Issam asked Saeed to go to death with him, he agreed without hesitation. In the present, Saeed assured Shannon that what had happened to Boone had really been an accident. Realizing that Saeed had not avenged her brother, the girl became angry and said that he had better forget about her. Charlie is still unable to calm the baby. Surprisingly, the baby stopped crying when he heard Sawyer's voice. Jack woke up and realized that someone had stolen the key to the case. Jack thought John Locke had taken it, but Saeed immediately realized it was Shannon. The girl, meanwhile, took the gun out of the case. Saeed recalls going with Issam to do his sacred duty. They were put in a truck full of explosives. Issam was very nervous, unlike his partner. Suddenly Saeed confessed that he was working for the CIA. He gave his friend 10 minutes to escape. Issam became angry about the betrayal and pointed a gun at Saeed. But he didn't shoot Saeed, he shot himself. In the present, Kate, Jack and Saeed caught up with Shannon, who was aiming for John. Saeed began to talk her out of it, because there are some things any people can't forgive himself. When Shannon pulled the trigger, Saeed knocked her down. Regardless, Jack still doesn't trust Locke. At this time Sawyer was reading a book to the child. Seeing this, Claire was very surprised. In the evening, Kate tried to cheer up Saeed, who recalled how he had received from a CIA agent the address of Nadia, who now lived in Los Angeles. Since Issam had no one left, Saeed decided to bury him himself. For this he will have to stay until the next flight. In the present, Saeed, who always knows when people are lying to him, demanded that John take him to the hatch. In the next scene, we see a certain white-haired woman affixing fake license plates to her car. Upon entering the motel room, Kate takes off her wig and tidies herself up, and then picks up a letter sent to her fake name. After reading the letter, Kate cried. In the present, she is holding that toy airplane in her hands. Unlike Kate, Charlie has a positive attitude and believes they will be saved. One of the passengers, who is a schoolteacher, said that the rainy season is approaching and for the next 4 months the wind will be blowing toward the south, and the only place south of them is Antarctica. That means they should sail now. Kate told Michael that she would go on the raft instead of Sawyer because she knew how to navigate, unlike him. However, Michael had already promised Sawyer, so he denied Kate's request. Kate recalls coming to the hospital to see Diane Jason, who is ill with cancer. When a young doctor named Tom got into his car, he was startled when Kate was suddenly there. She came in for help. In the present, Sun tried to talk to her husband, who is leaving on a raft tomorrow. In the meantime, Saeed led Jack into the jungle. They were met by Locke, who showed them the hatch. Jack was shocked. Realizing that Sawyer was really bad at navigating, Michael hesitated to take him with him. Sawyer decided to talk frankly with Kate. He realized that the raft was Kate's only chance, because if the rescuers found them on the island, she would be arrested right away. Kate made it clear that she would leave tomorrow at any cost. Michael suddenly felt sick, and Walt ran for help. Sun and the boy went back to the beach, and Kate tried to find Jack, who was now far away. He wasn't happy that John hadn't told them about the hatch in 3 weeks. Saeed thinks it's not a good idea to open the hatch, because anything could be in there. Hearing Kate's voice, Jack hurries to the beach. Michael is very sick. He can't go on working right now. Taking care of Michael, Kate recalls how Tom, who already has a family, arranged for a doctor he knows to give a CAT scan. Kate convinces Tom to take her to their secret place. In the middle of the night, they began digging up something far out of town. Jack believes that Michael has been poisoned, and soon his hunch is confirmed. Michael is convinced that Sawyer is to blame. But when Hugo tells that Kate also wants to sail tomorrow, Jack's suspicions fall on her. Charlie spends all his free time with Claire. He is trying to write a new song. Meanwhile, Kate unobtrusively wonders if anyone will take Michael's place on the raft. Jack asks directly if she poisoned Michael. Answering nothing, Kate walks away, remembering how she and the friend found a time capsule that was buried years ago. Many years ago, Tom and Kate were very much in love with each other. Now they kissed, just like in the old days. Walt walked up to John and suddenly out of the blue asked him not to open the hatch. Locke was surprised that the boy knew all about it. Michael openly accused Sawyer of having poisoned him. Then Sawyer decides to tell everyone the truth about Kate, who has appropriated the passport of the drowned Joanna. Kate recalls coming to visit Diane, who turned out to be her mother. Kate apologized for everything, but Diane did not recognize her and began calling for help. Kate was forced to flee. A security guard tried to detain her, but she hit him. Along with Tom, Kate got into his car to escape, but the police got in their way. Despite this, Kate continued driving anyway and caused an accident. As a result, Tom was died. Kate escaped before the police arrested her. In the present, Kate confessed that she was wanted. She assured Michael, however, that she had not poisoned him. He didn't believe her, of course, and decided to take Sawyer on the raft. Kate saw everyone around her start to look at her with suspicion. Jack guessed that the water in the bottle was poisoned by Sun so that her husband wouldn't sail away tomorrow. However, the water was accidentally drunk by Michael. Sun said she thinks the people on the raft will die. Jack promised not to tell anyone about what happened. At the fire, Kate asked Sawyer why it is so important for him to leave the island. He replied that there was nothing here worth staying for. Walt confessed to his father that he had burned the first raft because he wanted to stay here. His father did not scold him. Now Walt was ready to sail away. Kate came to visit Sun, whom she had earlier prompted to poison her husband. But by chance, Michael drank the water. Please subscribe to the channel.